how the last 3 months been?
Yeah, wow, I haven't done media in a while, dude. So I might be a little rusty. Pretty good. Obviously, a guy like me, the more I can play football, the more comfortable and happy, I'll be. But it was different. Turn yourself into a track star and leave the football stuff behind. But down in Plano, Texas, Exos, made a lot of new friends, talking ball with guys from the SEC and the ACC. So I became a part of this new community. We got really close down there, so I was able to enjoy my time down there, and it was just a different experience. No school, no class, just waking up, working out every day. So I guess kind of being a professional, and it was pretty fun.
Did you have an expectation of what that 3 month stretch was going to be like, getting ready for combine and everything, or
not really? You kind of just trust the program's process up there, and I knew I was going to work hard, so it didn't really matter what they had me doing. I knew I'd try to get the most out of the opportunity.
anything surprise you about the combine itself? You always hear about like questions are asked and things like that.
It was long days. I think the 40 and all the testing, that's the last thing you do. And the medical and the interviews and the meetings, you're there 4 days before you even test all that stuff. And the testing is the last day. So just the long days, you've got to be able to handle the week.
You feel like that's part of it, like they don't tell you that's kind of
Yeah,
like the expectation.
There was some stuff that they snuck in there. You wake up and there'd be a test that wasn't on the schedule that's on the schedule. So, they had a drug test at 5 a.m. So it's some early stuff they don't let you know, but the guys who can handle that stuff do well.
You heard for 5 years here, Iowa's a pro program. It gets you ready for the league. Has that become more apparent as you've gone through this process?
Yeah, you can. You definitely see how other guys operate. Than just it's when you're down training. I guess at that point, there's no coach. There's no one really holding you accountable. You can show up to workouts when you want. You can come whatever time, and little stuff like that where you start quickly understanding that some people from other programs got away with certain things, and things like that kind of let you know like Iowa's a little different.
When you didn't make the butt kiss finals, no, I have. Let me explain. Nick was. You didn't say a whole lot. Nick was pretty outspoken.
Yeah.
Now Nick doesn't make the combine. I don't know how much he's going to say about it, but is there stuff you can share about that?
I think there were some talented guys out of the group of the combine. I've made some really close friends. Jalen Walker, who won the buckets, I trained with him. I probably text him every day now. So it's funny, guys you're competing with that are now your best friends. And I made friends there. Pooh Paul Jr. at Ole Miss. I guess you guys call him Chris Paul, but we call him Pooh. The more you're around guys, the closer you get. And, there was talented guys there. I don't want to discredit anybody there, but it was very surprising to see Nick not on the list. You got some brand names, schools, and, that thing still exists, that where you go to school does matter, and you can see how that affects decisions.
It sounds like it was not as much fundamentally based, different, where you're still blocking, same backside knee in the same location, all that, but it was more formationally and where your positioning was.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. It was a lot of just learning new formations and new plays. So, but it was good. Thank you.
Learning a new offense. I know obviously you got hurt in 23. Do you get a sense talking to scouts that they know who you are, they know you're an Iowa tight end, that you are a productive player? Do you kind of get a sense they see you there?
Yeah, I do. I see that, and I'm just trying to go out and do whatever I can to show them that. So, I feel like I did a good job throughout this process, and I've also been taught that 90% of it's already been done with what you put out on the field and on the film, and so now just trying to get in football shape and have fun doing that. So really looking forward to finding out what happens.
Obviously there's a standard here with tight ends, but also in the NFL, like I just mentioned, there's eight guys starting right now. Is there an excitement to kind of get there and uphold that standard there as well?
Yeah, for sure. It's a cool opportunity. Something. When I was 18 years old, committing to Iowa, I kind of dreamt of, and I guess it's been 6 years since I committed, and it's really cool, to be in this position I'm in, and as an 18-year-old kid, I'd certainly be, clawing and super happy to know, right here I'm doing this interview right now. So I'm really grateful and looking forward to any opportunity that comes.
Has Dan had any words of wisdom throughout this process?
Just to be the hardest worker you can be, and he tries to give me some pointers here and there, but just be who you are and just get the best out of it, everything that you can do.
You've been hearing since 18 years old that this is a pro program and gets you ready for the league. Have you seen more examples of that as you've talked with scouts and gone through this process?
Yeah, definitely. I had a lot of, like, when we were gathering up today for measurements, the scout from the Rams was talking about how he loves coming to Iowa. It's a great spot, and it's really cool to hear that. And I'm sure they don't say that everywhere. Maybe they do, but to certainly hear that it's great. And I've only ever been here and loved every second of it. I know it's a great program for developmental and just a pro style program, and it's what I've learned from a lot of the coaches is they love Coach Ferentz and respect him a lot, and I mean, who wouldn't? So it's a great spot.
What's Abdul meant to the tight ends room? A guy who made his hay here as a linebacker and then flips over, but I mean, the standards held, if not been raised.
Yeah, I know. Coach Hodge is awesome. He makes sure that the standard is gonna. He knows the responsibility of that room, and he comes in and he makes sure that we're working. And I'm looking forward to seeing these next guys, and Coach Hodge just continuing to coaching them. And he's such a hardworking coach, and always trying to make sure that we're in the meeting room and learning, and we're there early during the season before our special teams meeting. At least we want to show up at least 15 minutes early to go over things, and that's just the guy he is he's going to make sure that we're the hardest working group and hardest practicing group, and so that's what we try to do every day.
Have you noticed that Iowa work ethic, that focus, that attention to detail is maybe shown up more as you're getting ready for this whole process and the combine and everything, that maybe some other guys from other schools maybe haven't had that set in stone kind of discipline, self-discipline?
Yeah, I can only really speak for myself and how they've coached us here. Coach Braithwaite, in the strength or in the weight room, does a really great job of making sure that we're doing the little things right, and that starts from Coach Ferentz and the other position coaches. So, really just trying to do the best I can, and on all of the little things and stuff like that has really helped me, and just trying to be disciplined with myself, and helping out in any way that I can, as far as in the workouts and the runs and everything like that. So it's a great place to be, and a great place to learn as a young kid coming in.
What kind of Iowa linebacker names have other teams brought up to you? I mean, are they talking about Josie and Neiman and all these other guys?
Yeah, they were making some jokes. They're like, you Iowa linebackers, we might not draft you guys, but you guys just stick around forever. I'm like, yeah. I mean, Coach Wallace is, we're mutts. I mean, that's the mentality of it. And I was like, you guys drafted Campbell first round, So, yeah. And he's pretty good. That's yeah. So I mean, just we in with those guys, and they talk about the linebackers and the history of the program, and Coach Parker and Coach Wallace and what they've produced over the years, just from that linebacker D-line room and DB room too.
You thought you were going to go through this process last year, aside from just a whole other year of film. What have you learned about yourself? How did you grow? And now getting into the 25 draft, how are you better prepared?
Yeah, I feel like it was the first year where I kind of had the defense and I had an understanding of winning the offense. This is my first season where I went into the offseason knowing the same defense. So every year it's been a new defense for me. So I think like that gave me an advantage to just like understand like how everything puts together and just slowing it down for me a little bit. yeah, I mean, I think it was great. I mean, I won't trade that for the world. Just getting to compete with my brothers and going out there and just trying to make plays for the Hawks. It's an honor, it's a privilege. It's an honor that Coach Ferentz and his staff, they selected you just to come to this school, and they put you out there as one of the 11 to go compete out there in Kinnick. That's just one of the coolest things that I'll carry with me forever, and I'll wear that badge for the rest of my life. That I got that honor to swarm, do the wave, and just experience like everybody, he's screaming HAW, or IOWA before I'm on that. Sorry.
It's been a long.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, golly.
Spelling's
Yeah, spelling. Yeah, I didn't get a degree from here, but.
How do you feel? I'm sure they've already asked you about this, but you not being invited to the combine, having the resume that you do, how is that how has that motivated you going through this process?
Yeah, I mean, it lit a fuel in me. But my motivation, it comes just from love of the game, my family, and just how much I love to compete. And obviously you want the opportunity to compete on national television, and go through that. But honest to God, it was more or less like, don't flinch, don't blink. Everybody, it was awesome seeing like the Hawk fans and everybody just like snubbed, all that stuff, just because like everyone thinks they're the greatest, but it's like when you have that support from everybody else that they're kind of like validating, like you think that you should be there. But at the end of the day, like you weren't. So all you had to do was today and to be able to compete today. And I felt like I was ready, and I was ready for the moment. And it was an awesome opportunity. And I think that it's really cool that you get to go out there and you get to compete. Yeah, obviously you want to be there. You're a competitor, but it is what it is. And guys from the combine get drafted. Guys from the combine that don't go to combine get drafted too. So the resume and everything will speak for itself, and time will tell.
Jay Higgins touched on how he believes his performance at the combine doesn't matter as much as what he's already done on the field. He thinks that is what matters most. And you're kind of forced in a position now where you kind of have to be like that in a sense, but how does that work to your benefit? Because obviously what you've shown on the field is second to none. Everyone knows you are a pro player.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, the tape is the tape. I think that we can get caught up in numbers, combine, media loves this time of the year. But at the end of the day, this is the truth. Just compare everybody. But when you turn the tape on and when you put it side by side and you play football, I think that's what matters. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to run a 40 on game day versus the Chiefs, right? You're going to go play football. You're going to go try and tackle those guys, right? So I think just, the violence, the tenacity that Coach Wallace instilled in us, I think that's at the end of the day going to ultimately come to fruition.
How'd it go?
Pretty good day. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think I performed pretty good, so hopefully I did good for the scouts.
How did
Which things did you do today?
I did everything. Yep.
What was your 40 time?
I'm not sure yet. I think they're still mean talking about that, but only numbers I know right now are vertical, my broad and my bench, obviously, because I said it. So I'm happy I got a 38 on the vertical. I think a 9.9 on broad and 15 reps on bench. So.
Elevation training help at all up in
Yeah,
Denver?
Definitely, actually. Felt in real good shape.
Was that part of the reason you wanted to go there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just my agent suggested that spot too, so it was good fit.
What was the process of finding representation and going to Denver and really what you
Yeah,
to the last 3
so I
months?
really try to put that off towards, after the season, just so I could focus on the season, and just got in contact with, different agents and stuff like that, and was glad I picked my agent, and, that's who I'm going with, so yeah.
What's been your focus then the last 3 months in terms of training? Is it just maintenance or getting bigger, faster, stronger than normal stuff?
Speed, pretty much, speed, agility, stuff like that, and then obviously endurance for the bench.
Is it nice seeing all your old teammates?
Oh yeah, it's
seen everybody in a while.
it's good to be back home. Obviously, feels like home. Obviously, I was always been home, so it's nice to be back, see all the coaches and everyone.
Speaking of teammates, your old teammate Cooper had a pretty big play in the Super Bowl. I guess could you share with me your reaction to that play?
To be honest, I'm not really surprised because that's something Coop would do. He made a nice play on it and then brought it back, so I was really excited to see that for him.
Who are some of the guys that we should be keeping an eye on for next year in the DB?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know if I want to name names because then I'll forget someone, but I know it's a good group of guys coming back. Everyone in that room's capable, and so it's really just going to be up to earning Coach Parker's trust and so that they can get in the field and play well.
Going back to Cooper, did he, now that he's a year in, did he give you any advice about going through draft process and everything?
I actually texted him, the past couple weeks, just check in, and then obviously I congratulated him after the Super Bowl. He just said good luck with the process and everything. So.
What type of feedback have you been getting from just scouts or NFL?
To be honest, I don't really know. They haven't told me much feedback on what they want from me or not, so I don't know.
What's been, we talk so much about Iowa's a pro program and all that. Have you started to get a sense of that a little bit of just, Iowa's reputation precedes itself, Phil's reputation precedes itself?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, certainly we've sent a lot of safeties to the league the past couple of years, and obviously being here at Iowa and Coach Parker's representation, it'd be nice for scouts or people to understand that hopefully that Iowa safety will be ready for the league, and I think I'm ready. I think I've shown that for 3 years consistently. So yeah.
You're a humble guy. I know you like to thank everybody else, but this is a moment in a process where Quinn Schulte's got to sell Quinn Schulte. Has that been kind of a difficult thing to flip that switch?
It's been kind of difficult, honestly. I mean, I think just for myself, I can't remember, honestly, the last safety to start 3 years consecutively in a row here at Iowa. And I think that should mean something, especially with the talent that we've put out the past couple years. And so I just think my consistency production each year has been there, especially my ball skill talent too. So hopefully a team I just need one team to fall in love with me, and I'm just go from there.
Have they brought up the Music City Ball tape much?
Yeah, I had a couple scouts kind of ask me, like, where was that at all year? And I said the same thing. I'm like, look, I have no excuse for it. Like, I felt like I was in position a lot, but I don't know, things just fell my way in that game, and I was ready to make the plays, and obviously I had a little extra motivation knowing it was my last game. So, but yeah, it's definitely got brought up a couple times, but I just tell them the truth, like, hey, I felt like I was in position, and I just got to make the plays. But I know I'm capable. I put together 4 years on the field showing that I can do that. So, if there's any questions, then just turn on the tape and you'll see it.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
No problem.
Do you feel like with the reputation Iowa has, kind of just sending a lot of players pro, do you feel like this program really helped you kind of take your game to a level where you can be in this position?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on the field stuff aside, like just everything they teach you about how to handle adversity and dealing with hard things and not trying to cut corners, all that stuff is I tried to carry with me into the process leading up to today. Just knowing that the results aren't going to happen overnight, knowing that you're always working towards something bigger, and then like I said, on the field, like the work and everything that we put out in the NFL speaks for itself. So I think we have a great reputation at the next level, and I think it starts with the people in this building, like the players, coaches, all the staff. Like we all buy in together and we all push each other to be better.
Has there been anyone from past teams, Iowa's history, that the ones that are in the league or maybe have gone or retired, is there anyone that has kind of helped you through this process at all? Anyone you've been talking to?
Yeah, so I talked to Colin Cole a lot. He just gave me some advice. I went to a Senior Bowl game and met with a bunch of teams there, so he just gave me some advice on how to handle those conversations and how to handle, some of the anxieties that come along with this whole process. But then guys I played with, like Lucas Van Ness, Joe Evans, Logan Lee, people like that, like I was picking their brain a lot about it, just, asking like, hey, like, what do I need to know for X's and O's? Like, what did you do for pro day? Just certain things like that. I mean, it's always nice knowing that you got those connections to fall back on, but definitely use those a lot during this process.
Has there been anything surprising about the process to you? Like, obviously, you're talking to those people, you expected some things, but has there been anything that you didn't expect that you just like, oh, man?
Not really. I mean, I can say, like, I didn't expect what it was going to be like just because I never went through it really before. But, once you get into a groove of training and find the groove of the new city that you're training in, like, everything starts to, you just build a routine and it starts to fall into place. Obviously, there's some nerves when you're meeting with teams and, like, doing stuff like we were doing today. That's tough, but, that's why you do what you're doing. When you were a little kid putting on the cleats, like, you wanted to be here today. So that's just what I fell back on all the time when I felt uneasy or some anxiety. So none really outlandish. So it's been a fun process. I'm trying to enjoy it, just have fun.
Anything you did in there today that you were particularly proud of in terms of the measurables or anything?
Yeah, I'm happy. I got that sub 540. That's like the biggest thing I wanted coming in here. It was a grind for sure. My legs are feeling it, but if the laser is correct, I got that sub 5, so I'm really happy about that.
What did Kelvin and Neiman mean to you just from day one here to now getting ready for the league?
I mean, it was everything. Like, people think when you're getting recruited, like, you pick a school for like the head coach, and obviously no disrespect to Coach Ferentz, like you pick a school for the environment. Like, you pick a school really because your strength coach or your position coach, because those are the two that you're going to see all the time. Those are the two that if you have a problem, you're more than likely going to text first and communicate with. So ever since day one, you know, I just can't thank them enough. They've been honest with me, and they've supported me. They've coached me really tough, and you know, it's because of them that I'm able to have a lot of success on the field, you know what I mean? So I think Coach Bell is, I don't even know what to call him, but he could be like one of the best orators on the planet with how he talks. And, you know, I've been through highs and lows with both of them. I've cried to both of them. Like, I've celebrated with both of them. Like, it's been a great relationship. You know, I'm super fortunate that they believed in me, and you know, hopefully I was able to make them proud over the past 4 or 5 years.